Raise your hand if you've heard this statement before, or if you've heard something similar to this statement. Costco is overvalued. Don't invest in Costco. Costco is trading at a 55 times PE ratio when the average retailer is supposed to be trading around a 24 times PE ratio. Don't invest in Costco. Sounds very similar, huh? So this video is going to be on SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI, and I just wanted to make this video because first of all, SoFi ended the week at $25 a share, which is monumental and it is a really good sign for the stock price. So that begs the question, is it time to sell? So recently it's come to my attention that I see more and more similarities between SoFi and Costco. I know SoFi claims to be the AWS of fintech, the AWS of banking, but I really do believe that SoFi is more of a, I mean, yeah, they do have their tech sector, right? But I do believe that SoFi is more of like the way they approach their business is very similar to Costco. So let me explain. So the first similarity I found between Costco and SoFi is the valuation. Why is Costco trading at a 55 times PE ratio when the average retailer is only trading at around 24 times PE ratio? Well, there's multiple factors. There's multiple reasons why. The first being consistency, right? You see that Costco has been executing in a bad economy and a good economy. They've just been growing at a steady rate, and that's kind of similar to SoFi. SoFi has been executing and has been firing on every single cylinder, and they've beaten every single expectation, especially after the last quarter. When it comes to evaluating what the reasonable stock price is, we should put some weight on the consistency of those earnings of past earnings, and both Costco and SoFi have been executing on every single cylinder. The other thing is there's also this sentiment thing, right? Where when you first think of Costco, people usually, I don't think many people have bad experiences of Costco, specifically Costco. Maybe they have bad experiences at Costco. Maybe you got like robbed at Costco or something, but like overall people feel really good about Costco. And I think that's what happens when you do treat your customer well, right? When you actually do provide the best thing for your customer. A lot of people have pointed this out where the CEO has refused on multiple occasions of increasing the price of the hot dog or the chicken. And I think a lot of people feel that the CEO is kind of on the side of the customer. And I feel that's also shown in SoFi's case, where SoFi really is offering one of the best, if not the best, product for the consumer. And as more and more people find out, then more and more people will flock to SoFi because there's no reason for them to be staying at their 0.3, 0.2, 0.1% APY stupid like legacy bank when they could be going to SoFi. Now the other way that I believe that SoFi is really similar to Costco is, why did you first, like if you have a Costco membership, why did you first buy your Costco membership? Did you first get your Costco membership because you really like the food at the food court, right? The $1.50 hot dogs, or like the $10 pizzas. Or maybe it's because you wanted to go to their gas station, right? You get 5% cash back when you go to their gas station, and their gas station is also one of the cheapest gas stations around, if not the cheapest. Or maybe you appreciated the savings that you get in buying in bulk, where it opens up semi-wholesaler prices for those consumers, for those customers. Whatever the reason is, you stayed with Costco, and as soon as you join Costco for one of those products or one of those features, I guess, then you're in for everything else, right? Then you get access to all these other things, and it becomes, you basically save money by becoming a Costco member in the same way that you would save money by becoming a SoFi member and becoming a SoFi Plus member, right? You get access to all these benefits to the point where it almost becomes financially irresponsible to not be a SoFi Plus member. SoFi has created such a better mousetrap that it makes no sense for the person to leave. In the same way that as soon as you experience some of the membership benefits of Costco, why would you stop being a Costco member, right? You save so much money. Even using their credit card, you save so much money. And I've only been talking about one side of the coin, right? I've only been talking about the SoFi shopper, the SoFi member. But then we go to the other side, right? Where you have suppliers who are willingly lowering their prices to be able to have their product on Costco shelves because they want access to the Costco members that will buy their products, right, and will try their products. How often does Costco have these new products? They have new products so often. Companies want to work with Costco because they want access to this, in the same way that companies like Blue Owl or like Fortress Investment Group or like even Wyndham Hotels, right? They want to work with SoFi because they recognize SoFi's member base is a very valuable like group of people that they want to work with, that they want to pitch their products to. So I think that SoFi is very similar in Costco in the way that they're treating their customers and their partners as well. So I wanted to touch again on this idea of a average PE ratio. It doesn't make sense at all, right? You can't just give a sector just slap it on and like an average PE ratio, because a PE ratio depends on how much you're growing and as well as consistency. If you are into real estate, people would say, okay, well, average cap rate is a 5% cap rate or like a 6% cap rate, right? Which is basically how long will it take for you to get back your initial investment. That's basically what a cap rate is. Now, obviously, it can be higher or lower, right? You might get a 3% cap rate, which might be really, really interesting, or you might get an 8% cap rate, which you would want to steer clear of, right? So for example, if you are in like the sketchiest neighborhood around your area, right, and they have an 8% cap rate, well, I mean, yeah, the cap rate is really interesting, but you also might get shot trying to collect rent. In the same way, maybe you have a 3% cap rate over here, but you see very good potential in maybe the school district is like killing it, or maybe like their something is up and then it's increasing the property values of those properties in that location. Yeah, it's 3%, but because of how much demand there is for people to join that school district, then you will increase the property value. And then even if your rental rate stays the same, if you sell it in the future, maybe you're in even more than you would have just renting it out. So I guess what I'm saying is, in real estate, you can't just slap on a 5% cap rate. That's the law, right? There's reasons to avoid the 8% cap rate, and there's reasons to go for the 3% cap rate. There are really important reasons and like footnotes for purchasing or avoiding a rental property or a property that isn't just the cap rate. In the same way that there's reasons to buy a stock, even though they're not, that P ratio doesn't reflect the rest of the sector. And that's where Costco is, and that's where SoFi is, right? SoFi is growing, it's growing so fast, especially after the last quarter's earnings call. And I wanted to mention one thing that makes me really, really bullish is the dilution, the 1.5 billion, I think, dollar dilution of SoFi stock. I think that is probably one of the most bullish things that Noto could have done, and I want to tell you why, right? So a lot of people say, okay, why would you stomp on the rally? It was doing so well, and then you just stopped it, like you just destroyed the rally, right? Why would you do that? And I was thinking that too, and it totally makes sense. I want to turn it around and ask you a question. If you were in Noto's shoes, why would you choose that to dilute and to have a stock offering then, when you knew in a few weeks' time that the Fed would most likely start reducing interest rates? Just answer why, right? The only reason I could think of is because Noto has so many more unless Noto like actually just really needed the money, unless SoFi was struggling, right, and they're about to collapse and they needed money. But why would you offer an optional money raise if you knew that interest rates were going to get cut? And that's, interest rates going down is like when banks start to print. You do that soon because you don't want to rain on the rally that's coming up, right? Think about it. How many catalysts are going to start rolling out of SoFi's, just of SoFi, right? How many catalysts is SoFi going to put out in order to increase the stock price in the coming weeks, months, and maybe even next few years, right? You have the interest rates, you have crypto, you have all these partners, you have Galileo starting to actually attract more customers, right? Even Noto even mentioned that they are working with 10 customers on Galileo. You have crypto coming back. You have the last what was it called, Lightspark, I think, working with Lightspark and bringing international money transfers. There's so many things that SoFi is going to start rolling out, right? You have level 1 options as well. In my opinion, after thinking about it some more, yeah, I was like, bro, you just stumped on the rally. But the reason he did that is probably because he sees so many catalysts in the future that he doesn't want to stomp on this rally, on this second rally B while that's going on. So he wants to do it as soon as possible. So he basically only ruins the rally that came from the earnings call and not from all these other catalysts. So I don't know, in my opinion, unless SoFi was struggling, which they obviously were not based off of their earnings call, that was the only reason I can think of for why Nodo did the money raise then instead of later in the future. I don't know. All that's to say is I really do believe that in the way that management is approaching their business, which is a very customer focused business and trying to provide the best products for those customers and partners as well, SoFi is very much similar to Costco. And as soon as people become a SoFi Plus member and they're part of the flywheel, then they're just going to use all their other products because they have the best mousetrap. And I will make a video and change my mind if I think that they stopped executing and if I think that the train is stalled. But as of right now, SoFi is just executing and executing and executing and firing on every single cylinder. That's why I believe that SoFi is the Costco of banking as well as AWS.